Emerson 73648AK. Here's the fan in its original state. It did not really work. It heated up really hot. That wire you see in the back with all the tape on it with layers of dirt and grease was really bad. Here's me starting to disassemble the cage, taking the cage apart. This thing was just coated in grease. There was a red dot of paint on it. I imagine that was to let people know that it was a bad fan and that would catch your house on fire because of this wire. I imagine that's why a lot of people do that. Also, I've noticed some people turn the cage upside down as an indicator that they've been through it or worked on it and it was not fixable. There's the marker, 0.83 amps, 60 cycle. It's actually a lot less energy than most modern fans. Taking the wiring apart, got rid of that horrible mess of stuff. Just a lot of rust and grossness in there, bugs, cobwebs. The grease was just this black or brown tarry stuff. It was very corroded and rusty and just grainy. Everything was just greasy and looked like it may have been used in a farm barn house or something. There's the rotor and the stators. That little shaft you see there is what makes the oscillator turn. There's the rotor, all greasy and gross. Kind of wiped it off a little. Important little fiber washers that they don't even make anymore, or I can't find. If they do make them, I guess there's one company online, but I haven't ordered them. There's the back of the motor housing and the rotor shaft. These little things are very important. They're just little tubes of metal. They go on that little shelf right there, and that's what holds the whole thing in position just right. So it's important for this model fan. You don't want to lose them or break them or bend them. There's the back of it all cleaned out, washed out all the grease. Starting to degrease the gears, take it all apart. They were pretty good, they just were gross, dirty. So there's that oscillator shaft that goes through the rotor center. There it is, all cleaned up, shiny to go, ready to be put back together. That little thing you see in the middle of the fan blades is where that oscillator rod goes. Here's the new wiring I put in. It's 3 wires, not just 2, for 3 different speeds, so you have to make sure you get them in the right position, or else it won't work. It might burn out your fan. So there's the new wiring. There's the old wiring plug. I actually had to keep it, but I just fixed it up a bit. The base, that's what it looked like. There's the little important things. Here's me testing. I tested the ohm resistance in the wires and then hooked them up and made sure that they all still worked, and it did indeed work. So there's part of the oscillator arm. New felt for the base, and had to put some new screws in, had to cut them out because they were rusted solid. So there's me twisting the wire. You can notice the black part around it is the heat shrink tubing, so it's very firm, should last another 80 years. Here's a sheath, cloth sheath that's going over the wiring. I actually put 2 layers on there. It doesn't show that in the pictures, but I ended up putting a second layer on there because you could see the wires through it. I didn't like that. So I put 2 on there and you can't see it now. Here's me disassembling it and then taking it all apart and putting it back together. Stripping the paint off. It was really rusty. So here's the cage assembly and the handle being painted. There's the cage being painted. And stripped the base, took all the rust off. Nice and shiny. Had to put painter's tape on the inside of this so that no paint got in there. Couldn't get that one little grommet out, so it stayed, and I just put paint over it. This is a neat little thing I made out of a microwave turntable to make it easier to paint. You can just rotate it. Putting the finishing enamel on the base and cage. Yeah. There it is. is just about ready to go, almost assembled.